What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be doing something that I've seen a lot of people do on YouTube a lot, and I'm like, this looks really, really interesting. It looks really interesting. So I think I'm gonna, not necessarily steal, but pretty much steal. I'm gonna take the idea because I think it's gonna be really, really fun. I've seen a lot of people do it, so I'm not expecting this video to get a bunch of views because, so many people are doing it. So I'm not expecting to get a bunch of views, but I am going to do it because it's going to be really fun, in my opinion. It's a really fun idea. I'm going to be, getting all of the units and then, ranking them. See where they all stack up against each other, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to put on the Nikke jukebox. The Blue Water Island playlist has got to be like the best one in the game, in my opinion. Like, it is really, really good. I love it. I absolutely love this playlist. It is by far my favorite one, but I listen to it all the time. So I'm thinking maybe we go to Near. I think that the Near one and the Blue Water Island one are maybe interchangeable. I think that they're like glitched kind of together, because if you're in the Blue Water Island playlist, it'll sometimes switch over to the Near songs, and same if you're in the Near playlist, it'll sometimes switch over to the Blue Water Island ones. But yeah, I'm just gonna probably put on this one, and then yeah, we're gonna get into it. All right. Now, with that being said, I have done my best to, I believe, organize all of the units how I believe they came out. I believe it was Modernia's event. Like, this is all from memory. I didn't want to go and look up all the events. I'm like, it doesn't really matter that much. But I tried putting them in order from memory. I believe it was this, and then The Outsiders, and then Made for Valentine, or like whatever it was. And then Bullet X Chainsaw, and then, as you keep going. But yeah, we have the broken tier. The units that are just absolutely cracked. There's, if I'm remembering correctly, there's only going to be 5 units that are going to be in the broken tier. I'm sure that you guys know who 4 of them are right now. And I'm sure that if you guys know which 4 it is, you can probably also guess the 5th one, as she is like the best damage dealer in the game by a freaking mile. And yeah, with that being said, I think that we can just start with Modernia, as she was the New Year's Pilgrim for 2023, and she was the first one. She was the first unit, and that was released. We're not going to be doing these units as they were 2022. I kind of want to do them because there wasn't enough units for us to do a 2022 one. You know what? That's a fair point. They didn't get one because there wasn't enough units to do a 2022 ranking one. There was only like 5 units, so we're just gonna add them here. And since they're right there, let's do these ones first, as they're 2022. Rupee was first before, and I remember that. The SR build. All right, guess that we're gonna be starting off with Helm. And I'm gonna say one thing: Helm is gonna be really busted for you if you don't have this girl right here. I think that the fact that you can burst and not do anything with this unit, and you can still get a bunch of healing. In my opinion, I would much rather use Mary than Helm, but that's just me, because I can focus on using someone else's burst and at the same time get the healing that I need. But Helm is excellent. Helm is really, really good. In fact, knowing who's going to be an S, I can't put her in S. I'm going to put her in A tier. Laplace. Laplace is very fun. She's a boss unit, boss killer, but she's not too crazy. Yeah, see, look at that. It's a summer song. It's weird. I don't really use her though. She's really good, but I don't really use her. If she's A tier, then she's not anything lower than B. I'd put her in B. Hardest hitting SR unit in the entire game. It doesn't say much, as SRs are just statistically way worse than SSRs. Just because she's the hardest hitting SR unit in the entire game, I'm gonna put her in D. The bias is strong here. I love Rupee. I really, really do. I love Rupee. Hold up. Alright, just had to make sure. Yeah, I love Rupee so much. But she's so bad. And it's for one reason. They did not give her damage received reduced. If that makes sense. If they would have given her, you know, damage taken down. That's what I'm thinking of. If they would have given her damage taken down, then she would have been much, much better. But they didn't give it to her. They did not give it to her, so, you know. Oh, that's pain. Actually, yeah. No. Because she can still be used and not be, like, completely useless. F is like, why the heck did they even exist? Like, she's really hard to build, but if you can somehow get her to not die, then she'll be good. She's like a worse version of Tia. And Miracle Fairy, she's really good in my opinion. She has a lot in her kit. She has Life Steal for supporters. She has Heal and Attack, and also a Revive for attacker units. And she also has, I think, something I'm blanking on. So she's not bad. Plus, she's a rocket launcher. And also, she's the only rocket launcher that's a Revive currently, making her really good in PvP. For those reasons, I'm going to put her in A tier. Modernia, S tier. Modernia, outside of a 1-1-3 comp, her damage is really, really good, but it's not like absolutely crazy. In like a 1-2-2, a 2-1-2, her damage will be comparable to Scarlet's. Actually, in a 1-2-2 or a 2-1-2, Scarlet, where is she? This girl will actually be out-damaging Modernia. But if you get Modernia in a 1-1-3 comp and put her, you know, off the burst rotation, so she's always bursting. No, always bursting. So she's never bursting and always focusing on her like main weapon. Her damage skyrockets because it's just all that she's doing is beaming cores. I'm stuttering right now, I'm sorry. But all that she's doing is beaming cores the entire time. The thing that sucks about her burst is her burst lowers her damage. It lowers her damage output. You have a way bigger radius, but the damage is much lower. So you want her off rotation so that her damage can skyrocket. But yeah, Modernia is S tier. Crazy. In terms of max DPS potential, I believe she's number 3. Right behind Red Hood and Alice. Alice is right behind Red Hood. Modernia is right behind Alice. Jackal. Honestly, like, I would say the most valuable PvP unit is either Rapunzel, Jackal, or Biscuit. And just because of how good she is in PvP, I'm gonna put her in A tier. See, this has probably at least been 4 minutes. I got a lot to get through. I don't want this to drag out too long. Viper. A lot of people think Viper is like a worse version of Novel, but in my experience, she's actually been better. She's actually been better than Novel for me. Like, I always kill bosses faster by like 10-15 seconds with Viper. I mean, and my Novel had like double the investment as well. Viper was like 555, a Novel was like 7 8-7 or something. She had 2 sevens and an 8 somewhere. And she also had a cube, and she also had overload. Viper had none of that. And Viper still helped the team out damage, and she was not even like type advantage, so I don't know why the heck. But I'm telling you, she has really proved herself on my account. I'm gonna put her in A tier. Coco. Not bad. She's better than these units. Is she as good as these units though? I'm not sure. Haven't really used her that much, but I do know what she does. And it's nothing crazy. I'm gonna put her in C. Kind of the same with Soda. I've used Soda a lot more. I know what she does, but she's a mono pyro. She's a mono fire team. Mono fire isn't really good. Mono anything isn't really good, except for maybe mono water, and that's because of this chick right here. But we'll get to her eventually. I would say C tier. She's really good for a fire team, but outside of a fire team, she's kind of useless. Himeno. She's fun. She was the first SR unit that, you know, outside of the counters, had a burst animation. She's also Chainsaw Man, so I'm just going to put her up here. Power. Power has the... She has the highest burst multipliers on her burst out of any other unit in the entire game. I believe number 2 is Brid, but in terms of just, you know, multipliers, she has the highest multiplier. So she has like the highest one-shot potential. For that, I'm gonna, in my opinion, she's just a better version of Applause. Makima. She's useful. How useful? That is the question. I don't know how much I would use her outside of PvP. I'll put her at the bottom of B tier. Either that or at the top of C, but I'm going to put her at the bottom of B tier. Biscuit. I am extremely biased. I think that Biscuit is fantastic. I think that Biscuit's fantastic. I think that she is a much better unit than people give her credit for. I've seen the Japanese tier list, and I'm like, yeah, they rated her a lot higher than the global side does. In my opinion, she's really, really good. I want to put her in S, but I don't think that that's a smart play, because she's not really Modernia level. But she's really, really good. I would say that she's much better than all of these units. Biscuit? Yes. I love Biscuit. D. Very niche character. She has that, you know, start of the match burst thing, which is kind of useful for PvP, kind of useful for Modernia, because you want to be bursting as fast as possible. She was tailor-made for Modernia. So, outside of Modernia, she's not really too crazy. The thing is, Modernia isn't really a hard interception boss. And in my opinion, I've never used this shit for Modernia. Because I've always been able to do it. Well, I was able to do Modernia pretty easily after, I would say, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks of special interception. I just had to get the hang of Chatterbox, and like 4 or 5 days after I had gotten the hang of Chatterbox and I had collected like a few pieces of like T9 gear, I was able to barely get Modernia done as well. So I've never had a use for D. I'm gonna put her here at the bottom of C tier. You know what? No, because for people that can't beat Modernia, she's more useful. I'll put her at the top of C tier. Sakura's in the same boat, but Sakura, instead of being used for Modernia, is being used for Train. I'm gonna be honest. Even to this day, she helps me with Train, because Train does so much damage. And without her, you don't have that safety net. She is my safety net for Train, and that's really, really, really helpful. It's really, really helpful. So I'm gonna put her at the bottom of A tier. Dorothy. Oh. Oh, that's not where my cursor was, but alright, Dorothy is very good. If it wasn't for litter, she would be the undisputed, like, best burst one in the game, I would think. Because T is not really, like, a burst one. She's like a burst 0, pretty much. But, I still think that Dorothy is a little bit more useful for bosses than litter. So, even if she's not, completely replaced litter, I think that Dorothy is still really, really, really good, and that I would actually say that I prefer her over litter for bosses. So she's gonna be right here. Oh my gosh, you were a funny concept unit, but honestly, I think I haven't even like seriously used you once. I've used you a few times as like, you know what? I might as well because I have the unit type of thing, but I've never seriously like used this unit. I'm gonna put her here. It hurts to put an SSR in F tier, it really does. But she's not gonna be the only one, so she is not going to be the only one. She's gonna be joined by at least one more. I'm still deciding if I want to, have two more join her, but she's gonna be joined by at least one more in F tier. Quincy is very, very useful. Just a worse version of Mast, really. For people that have 2B and don't have Mast, she's very useful. I would put her here. Yeah. Sin, decent PvP unit, but like nothing crazy. Like you can do some crazy things with her, but I've never really ran into that. I don't think that she's really a problem, so I'm just gonna put her at the bottom of B. Guilty. Huh. Where is Guilty gonna go? I believe that she's the second hardest hitting burst 2 in the game, right? I believe that she's the second hardest hitting burst 2 in the game. I'm gonna put her here. Yeah. And you may be like, I thought that she was the hardest hitting burst 2 in the game. Well, actually, people were upset about her, and they, and they really, really, like, just hated the unit because she wasn't broken. But Nihilister does more damage than Guilty. She does. I mean, if you've actually built her the same way that you've built Guilty, you'll notice that she actually does more damage than Guilty. She does. I'm gonna put her at the top of B tier. She's not as broken as most pilgrims, which is why most people were upset with her release. Because she's more like a regular unit than like a pilgrim unit. But she's not bad. She doesn't do bad damage, and for a burst 2, she actually does really, really good damage. Bunnies are going up here. They're our first broken units. Bunnies are going right up there. I mean, we all know what they do. They do pretty much everything. Offensive, defensive, healing. They do like everything. So they're going up there and broken. Plus, unlike Tia and Naga, they're very beginner friendly. If you have these two, you're set. You'll be able to breeze through at least Actually, no. You'll be able to breeze through the entire game with these checks. At least the entire story. So I mean that's what was I gonna say? That's crazy for them, yeah. Goodness, I had completely forgotten. In fact, if it wasn't for litter, I would say the bunnies are probably the most valuable units in the game. But because litter exists, I think that litter being just by far way too useful as a burst one, I think that she has to take the spot for me in terms of most valuable unit. Like a Red Hood is better, you know, at like damage dealing, but there's a lot more damage dealing units. There's not really a lot of replacements for litter. Like your best option is pretty much. I'm going off on a tangent. I need to get back on track. But your best option is Anne. She's like your best replacement, and it's like night and day, really. So I would say that litter is my vote for the most valuable unit in the entire game. Rosanna's trash. In my opinion, Rosanna is the worst unit in the entire game because Rosanna is a PvP unit, and they gave her the literal worst weapon type that she could have for PvP. You may be wondering why. You're like, I thought that SMGs were the worst for PvP. Actually, no. Because of... Where is she? Because of this chick right here, all machine gun units are hard countered in PvP. Meaning that this girl is actually a negative for your team because Emma will just make it to where you're healing them. All that the enemy has to do is bring a decently built Emma, not even one that's like good, but like decent. And then you'll turn all the damage that she'll be doing into heals for her. So it's, I mean, you're a PvP unit and you're the worst possible weapon type for PvP. I would say that you're just the worst unit in the game. I mean, the thing that you're, like useful for, you're not even useful. So I wouldn't say that she's very good. Neon. She's not as bad as people think. She's really, really bad. I'm not going to lie, she is. I'm going to put her at the bottom of C towards the top of D. Because she's actually very useful against water bosses. She's not the best option, but she's actually pretty useful against, I said water bosses, against fire bosses. Against fire bosses, she's actually not bad. Now, we go here. Okay, hold up. I wanted to show this right here. Where is she? This chick, a lot of people that I've seen have said that the ranking for the summer units are Anise, Helm, Mary, and then Neon. I would disagree. I would say it's Anise, Mary, Helm, and then this chick. Honestly, on an all water team, because I'm looking at all of these units in their best possible, scenario / situation. So I'm looking at her with a really, really good water DPS and the best possible situation for her. And then you get this. I mean, everyone knows that she has crazy heals. In fact, I'm not sure if it still holds up, but at the time of her release, she had the best heals in the entire game. In terms of just pure healing, she has way more heals than any other unit in the entire game. And a lot of people think that the healing is like the main thing for her, but in my opinion, it's not. Because you get this. When using your burst skill, which is the 20 seconds, so you can very easily activate this. You trigger these every single time you use it, and they stack on top of each other. So the first time you'll get 20 plus, you'll get the 20.85. The second time you'll get the 20.85 and the 13.88, and then the third time you'll get all three. That's a lot of damage, because what you're doing is you're activating her burst, getting a 23.23% attack boost for like water units, And then you're also getting this. And then, for units like Brid, she needs to be at max HP, and she also has a nuke. So, this can bring her up to max HP, and this, and then her attack will be boosted by 23.23%, and then on top of that, you'll be getting pretty much 40% extra damage on top of that nuke that she's going to be doing. For a really, really, really good water DPS, Mary is going to be absolutely crazy. Because you're getting the attack, and then you're getting a 40% high damage multiplier on top of that attack buff. So I'm going to say that Mary's up here. I think that Mary is crazy good. It's just that we don't have a really strong water unit that can really benefit from that, because I mean, you kind of do in Brid. Ludmilla, the damage buffs are just way too little to be like super useful for Ludmilla. I'd say that Mary's way better being used as a nuke support for like a water nuke, and the only water nuke that we have right now is Brid. But all right, but at max potential, if we get a crazy good like water nuke unit, Mary will be absolutely crazy for that. So I'm gonna put her there. Masked. I'm gonna put her right here. She is the best HP supporter in the entire game. Anchor. Honestly, Anchor's burst is like top 10 burst in the entire game for me. I'm gonna be honest. I really, really like her burst. I don't know why. It's so simple, but I really, really like it. But in terms of how useful she is, I don't know. She's an Elysian Burst 1, and that automatically buffs her up, because the only other ones that we have are Miranda, which only buffs like one unit, and then we have Emma, who's a 40-second. So I would put her here. I would put her in D tier just because she's a 20-second that doesn't just focus on one unit. Now we're going over to here. And I wouldn't say that she's as good as Modernia, so I'm going to put her on the bottom of S tier. But Summer Anise is crazy. She supports electric units, and on top of supporting electric units, she also does a crap ton of damage. I would say that's pretty good. And then Helm. She has to go at least in A tier. She has to go at least above this Helm. Would I say that she's as good as a lot of these units? I would say no. But what she has is so unique, and it's so useful that she has to be high. Having a Burst 2 CDR unit is crazy good for your account. Because there's only one in the game, and that's Dala. So having a second one is really, really good. It really helps with your team building for like solo raids and stuff. Nero, she's really good when you combine her with like a really good healer like Rapunzel or even Summer Mary, if you can get the heals like consistent enough. But besides that, I really wouldn't say that she's too crazy. I'd put her above Makima. Pascal. Honestly, a pretty useful PvP unit. He's a Burst 1 rocket launcher healer. I don't think that we have one outside of Pascal. I may be mispronouncing that. Forgive me if I am. 2B. Pretty fun unit. But one thing I've noticed is that she's really fallen out of the meta. She's really, really fallen out of the meta. She's not on the level of these chicks. She's not. She's really good, but I think that we need a lot more HP units to build a proper HP team for her. Once we get that, she'll be crazy though, so I'm gonna put her here. It pains me to do that to Biscuit, but I'm gonna do that. I gotta. A2. A2's going at the bottom of S tier. A2's really good. in my opinion, A2's like at least twice as useful as 2B. That may be because we don't really have a lot of units for 2B's team, but she's really, really, really good. Marciana. She's really fun, but I don't think I would put this Burst 2 healer above this Burst 2 CDR unit. I would say that CDR is more useful than healing, but she's really, really good. She's really, really good, so I'm going to put her right there. Burst 3 healing is super unique as well. I'm going to put, yeah. Yeah, Burst 3 healing is super unique. I'm going to put her right there. Tia, Naga. In my opinion, they're just better versions of the bunnies in every aspect except for healing. They just outscale the bunnies in everything. They outscale the bunnies in offensive support, defensive support, and pretty much everything except for healing. So, as long as you can keep Tia, alive and with like a good amount of cover, then I mean you're going to be destroying a boss. I think that they're more useful than the bunnies if you give them investment. Like max investment Tia and Naga versus max investment bunnies. I think Tia and Naga just absolutely wipe the floor with them. But of course, you need a lot of investment for that to happen. But yeah, the more investment I put into Tia and Naga, the more I see a drastic difference in them versus the bunnies. This is a hard one. At the bottom of D. I'm like, do I put her in F? I don't think that she's that bad. She's not, super useful, but she's not that bad either. At least she does provide a little bit of HP support and some crit damage or crit rate. I would say that Kiri's not bad at all. In fact, I talked myself into it. I'm putting her above. Also, no. There, yeah. I'm putting her at the beginning of D and Pascal there. Red Hood, I told you 5 units is gonna be these 5. She's the best damage dealer in the entire game, and you also get that crazy burst 1 effect once per match pretty much. Now Snow, Snow is pretty good. I'd put Snowy right there. Tove, like, this has gotta be at least like 20 minutes by now, so I'm just gonna hurry up. She's decent for shotgun units, so I don't think that she's like that crazy. I'd put her right there. Ludmilla. No, her damage potential is kind of crazy. Of course, she is only limited to bosses, but I still think I'm gonna put her like right here. No. The versatility of some of these units is gonna bring them up. If she was more versatile, then I would, bring her way higher. Her damage is crazy, but she's limited to bosses only. Then Mika. I'm gonna be honest, I was disappointed that she did not have CDR. If she had CDR, I would have been so down for it. But she doesn't have CDR, making her a very weird burst 1 to run. You would have to run a CDR burst 2 to have a fully functional team. I want to put on the B tier because outside of having no CDR, she's actually really, really useful. But the fact that she doesn't have a CDR is kind of neutering her. How useful is this chick? I'm gonna put it there. I would say that this is my, you know, this is my tier list for how useful a unit is. I would say that. I don't think I've missed any. I'm looking. I don't think I missed any. I even added the 2022 units because why not? They did not get their chance last year. They only had 2 months last year, so I'm just gonna add them to this one. I'm not sure if that's I'm not sure if this is how everyone else is doing theirs. I just saw the the video idea and I didn't actually like click on like the video, so I haven't watched anyone else's. But I assume that theirs is gonna differ drastically from mine for some of these units. You know what? No. Tia and Naga are better, but it's a case of like Ludmilla versus like A2. A2 is more versatile. They're way more versatile than Tia and Naga. Tia and Naga have a better performance if you, really, get them up there. But because the bunnies have that versatility, I'm gonna leave them there. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. That's fun. Yeah. Yeah. I like this. Alright. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the tier list as well. I know that this is a tier list video and people always disagree with tier list videos that anyone makes. So I would love to hear your guys' opinions. And if you guys think I'm wrong on some of these, which you guys definitely are, because I know that a lot of the things that I think aren't widely thought by a lot of the members of the Nikke community. But yeah, with that being said, it's been fun. It's been really, really fun. But I gotta go. It's like 8:10, and I gotta go do some stuff. School does not start tomorrow, but it starts the day after on Wednesday. I'm probably gonna be uploading this Monday night. So yeah, I gotta at least record 3 more videos before Wednesday. So I'm gonna end this video. If you guys liked it, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.